Good morning and welcome to Harvesting Heritage. I'm Channing and join me in my greenhouse today as we talk about all things tomatoes. Now, I did not take you along for my tomato seed starting. It's the same process, and what I do is similar to my snapdragons, where I start many seeds of one variety in a single cut. And now they've grown up to have at least their first true leaves, a little bit more than that. And I'm going to pot them up into individual cups that are a little bit bigger. So I prepared all of my supplies and we're ready to get started. I want to take you along for what I do. So here we go. This is my full flat of tomatoes. I have this new potting tray that my mom got for me. I'm so excited to use it. Some gloves. I buy my soil in bulk, and so this is some compost, which will have lots of nutrition for the seedlings to continue to grow. I'll be marking each of the plants so I can remember what they are. And then I use red solo cups. These are leftover from parties, so they are already recycled once, and in fact, I've grown probably 2 years already in these. And what we do is we just take a big drill and just drill a single hole inside, and then this is a really effective way to do my starting. And then I also have no problem sharing all of these tomatoes with my friends, family, and neighbors. I, in the end, need maybe 10 tomatoes total, and this is obviously far more than that. So let me give you an example of what this looks like and share the varieties that I'm growing. Okay, so let's talk varieties that I've started in this tray. One of our favorite things to eat is green salsa verde, and we like it that more tart flavor that comes from a tomatillo. But I did learn last year that I don't care for purple green sauce, so we're not doing purple tomatillos, even though I very much prefer to grow all the purple options in my garden because it's my favorite color. So this year, and these ones need to be potted up really badly. See how spindly they are. But we will actually plant them down really deep and solve for that. So I'm thrilled that in this area we can get Queen of Monaco tomatillos. They're a bit yellow-green and they're more oblong. And actually Sean will put up all of the variety pictures here on the screen for you. So we've got Queen of Monaco and then a regular green tomatillo. For my cherry tomatoes, which this year I really wanted to focus on having more cherry tomatoes, so I have earlier tomatoes. The slicing are great for all of my canning and whatnot, but just for everyday eaters, I love cherry tomatoes. So of course I have Brad Atomic Grape every year. And then new this year, I'm trying Tigerella cherry, Purple Bumblebee cherry, and Moneymaker cherry. So a variety of purple, red, kind of yellow red, and that really fun rainbow colored in the Brad's Atomic. For my slicers, I have Dr. Witchy's, which is yellow, a Brandywine, Cherokee Purple, which was my very first full-size tomato that I grew, so I grow it every year because it did so well for me. And you'll notice I also tried to be, again, have yellow, purple, full red. I noticed last year that I leaned a little too much to the adventurous types of tomatoes and didn't have enough just true red flavored tomatoes, and so that's why I've added Brandywine in for the first year. And I know that that's kind of a standard one that you can find at the Lowe's and Home Depot, but for me that'll be new. I also have Mortgage Lifter. That's my Papa's favorite, so I always want to have that in the garden for him. Paul Robeson, Berkeley Pink, Berkeley Tie-Dye Pink. And then I have Orange Icicle, which is kind of a plum. And then I have Amish Paste is my favorite paste tomato. I feel like they get bigger. They are indeterminate, so they grow constantly. In tomatoes, there's two types of tomatoes, determinate and indeterminate. And 100% of my tomatoes are indeterminate. I'm in California, zone 9B, and my tomatoes will grow all the way till November. So I like that they just continuously grow and grow and grow, and I can have harvests all year long. Whereas determinate, everything comes ready at the same time. And that's great if you're doing a lot of canning and you want to have your Romo tomatoes in order to do tomato sauce all at the same time. That's why you would choose a determinate, or for other weather considerations. And then, it looks like I also have a chestnut cherry and a Napa Chardonnay cherry. So definitely going heavy. Now, I think I already said, in the end, I am hoping to have 1 or 2 of each of these varieties in my garden. Last year I had maybe 30 tomatoes, and I have preserved enough tomato product for 2 years plus some. So I don't need nearly as much for preserving. It actually became a little overwhelming. So that's what I've been learning year over year, is what do I need to have fresh eating and a little bit of preservation for my small family, and not worry about having such an extreme abundance. And then special also is I do a Goldie ground cherry. Shauna and I do not prefer ground cherries. You're either a huge fan or they kind of have a stinky feet smell or taste to them. But my mom loves them. So if she's going to be playing in the garden, she demands to have her ground cherries, so that that's kind of her popper. So I like to pop the peas when I'm out and about, and she likes to have her ground cherries. And then the very last thing that I'm doing is a Tamarillo, and it is taking a very long time. It looks like a tomato, you'll see right here, but I think it's a fruit, maybe ground cherry-ish. Honestly, I don't know, but they've taken a long time to germinate. They have now. We won't be potting these up, and you can see they're so tiny. So that'll be an interesting experiment to see how that goes. Let me show you how I'm going to pot them up. So it's very simple. I fill the cup up loosely, and then let's start with these Queen of Monaco tomatillos, and I'm going to just loosen very gently their roots. Until I have a single plant, and you'll see that it's really long and leggy. I make a big, deep hole in the center. Stick the whole tomato down into that hole. And then we'll fill in with more soil. And you see how deep I put the tomatillo in and filled up. So again, this long of a string, all of that is deeply planted in here. Add a tag, and when we're done, we'll water them all in. It's as simple as that. Let me get to work. You can even, if you want, let me show you an example. So these are right here. These leaves that look a little different than the other leaves, those were the first leaves that came out of the seedling. These are the first true leaves of the plant. And so you can even just knock these two first leaves off and plant the tomatillo and the tomatoes all the way up to those first true leaves. Sometimes I do. You don't even have to try to make the plant going straight down. If it's a little bit crooked, it will figure out where the sun is and it'll straighten up on its own. So again, totally forgiving. All right, that's it. I'll show you a picture of the final product, but today it's all about planting up my tomatoes so that I can share with my friends and family. And then Mom's in town, so we're gonna be off on an adventure to go looking at antiques. So I just wanna finish this up and check off one more thing from the list. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing so that you can follow along as my mom and I explore our hobbies together to stay connected in our relationship. And until next time, I hope you have a joy-filled day. There you have it. The tomatoes are potted up. Oh wait, there's more.